Pastor Roy Gearhart from Galloway United Methodist Church in Franklin, Pennsylvania, sharing a few words of encouragement to help us follow after Jesus. Well, this week we've been talking about overflowing love from 1 Thessalonians chapter 3, where the Apostle Paul encouraged the Christians there to continue to grow in the faith and love that they possessed, and so that they would have overflowing love in the power of Christ, and overflowing love for each other and for others, and that they would continue then to grow in a holiness that would leave them blameless before God. Now, we've illustrated that with that inflow of water from the pitcher to the point that there is an overflowing that comes to that cup. And it has been a fun illustration to play with. But you know what? Yesterday, I was down home helping out my sister with her water source. And our water source down home where we grew up our whole lives, and my sister continues to live there, is a spring. And sometimes in the summer, those springs would dry up. But most summers they would keep going, but their flow might reduce from a big, heavy flow to nothing but a straw full of water that trickled in steadily day and night. And as I was working on that water system and thinking about the summers like this one, where that flow of water is reduced to just that little straw full trickling in, I remembered how many years we had a whole family living on that. That water flows down from the spring to a reservoir, and we would go out and look to see if there was a little bit of water coming in, and if there was, then every morning we might go out and check to see if there was an overflow. And lo and behold, if we were just a little bit careful, overnight, it was amazing. We could support a whole family on just that little tiny straw full of water. And if in the morning we went out and it was clear that there was an overflow, then we knew we were healthy, we were good to go, and we could use the water for the day without a problem. Well, that really drew together a picture of this overflowing life through the power of God's Holy Spirit. That was just, what a great reminder for me that it's not just about having these moments when there is a big gush of the Holy Spirit upon your life. Some people focus all their attention on having, a few great worship experiences or some great revelation moment in the power of God, and think that that's going to carry them through. And it leaves many people just living their lives like, well, I've got a cup full, so let me see what I can do with that, and they hope that it will carry them through. But just as we learned as a family, having a steady flow, just a small flow, was more important than having a gush of water coming in that then ended, and we had to live off of that forever. You see, there's something about staying connected with the source that allows God's Spirit, just like that water, to flow into our lives on a daily basis, 24/7. And with just that steady connection, that steady flow of God's Spirit in your life, you can find even in the dry times that you can be sustained, that you can be able to carry through, that you'll have that refueling to your life, that even as you pour out in your life in service and in love and in sharing with other people, that with that steady trickle of the Holy Spirit, just constant in your life, and of course the greater the flow that is, the more wonderful, but just a steady flow, that constant connection is the real need in order to live an overflowing life. Because even as we learned as a family, with just that little trickle, we could find our lives refueled, that water regenerated day in and day out. And that's the way that the Holy Spirit needs to work in you and me in order to live a truly overflowing life. So how are you living? Carrying around a cup full, hoping that it gets you far enough down the road before you dry out and can't get another? Are you looking for those big moments of worship and then move on? Some great spiritual experience that you're living on, the memory of, repeating that over and over and over again? Or are you living in a steady, constant flow of God's Spirit in your life that generates an overflowing life of love. Well, may God bless you today. And as you share this good news, may God make you a blessing wherever He takes you.